Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel, IBD with me, Maddie. If you're new here, my name is Maddie and I have IBD. If you watched my first video, thank you so much for all the love and support because it meant the absolute world to me. Now, in that first video, I gave a quick introduction to my journey with Crohn's disease and a permanent ileostomy. But today, I want to take a step back and answer a question that I get asked all the time, and that is, what actually is Crohn's disease? And what does having a permanent ileostomy really mean? So let's break that down together. So let's start off by clarifying a common mix-up, and that is that irritable bowel disease, referred to as IBD, is not to be confused with IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. The two conditions are slightly different from each other. Now, irritable bowel diseases focuses on two main types of conditions. There are several that fall under that umbrella. However, the two main conditions are Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. Now, Crohn's disease, which is the condition that I have, is when inflammation can affect you anywhere along the digestive tract. So that can be from the mouth all the way down to the rectum. Ulcerative colitis, on the other hand, is slightly different in that the inflammation only affects the large intestine. Now, Crohn's disease is the condition that I know best. So because of that, I do have some absolutely wonderful, lovely people that I am friends with who suffer with ulcerative colitis, and I hope to bring them onto the channel in the future and maybe do a little bit of an interview and get a little bit of an inside perspective of what their experiences are with ulcerative colitis, and just to get a little bit more of an overview about the condition in general. So let's talk about my symptoms and how it felt. So for me, I initially had bowel problems when I was a toddler. So from the age of about 2 till 4, I had a lot of issues with going to the bathroom properly, and I was going back and forth with my parents to the hospital to see the paediatric doctors. And in the end, it seemed to just resolve itself, and nobody could explain what had caused it, why it happened, and why it had just simply gone away again. And then I seemed to be okay for most of my childhood. I mean, I had more sick days from school than anybody else, and certainly if anybody in the house got ill, I would always seem to be worse than anyone. But that was pretty standard growing up, you know, you would get sick, whatever. But it didn't really become a problem until I was a teenager and I hit puberty. So when I was 15, that's when I really started to develop symptoms of active Crohn's disease. And it was a case of I had gone to bed one night literally feeling normal, and the next morning I woke up and it was a case of I had really bad stomach cramps and I just needed to constantly keep going to the toilet. And after a few days, that didn't go away. And it gradually then developed into severe, constant abdominal pain. And I had extreme fatigue that no amount of sleeping was fixing. That then developed into mouth ulcers, weight loss, and I just constantly needed the bathroom. So living with unmanaged Crohn's disease was exhausting. And it wasn't just the physical pain either, it was mentally isolating. And if I did go out anywhere, I was constantly having to keep track of where the nearest toilet was. So feeling unwell all the time and just wondering, why was my body fighting itself? Why was nothing working, and what was causing it all? So eventually I needed to end up having IBD surgery. So IBD surgery tends to happen when medications stop working altogether, or when the gut becomes too badly damaged that surgery is the only path forwards. And that's what happened in my case. So for me, my disease was very aggressive from the beginning, and I went through all the medications that were available very quickly, and it got to the point where having a stoma was going to be the only option to give my digestive tract a rest. Unfortunately for me, I did develop complications. I ended up with abdominal sepsis, abscesses, and I also developed a really bad, severe flare-up of my Crohn's disease. That will be a more in-depth video for another day, but it ended up with me being on Christmas Eve in surgery for 9.5 hours in order to take away all the really damaged parts from the disease and to clear out the septic abscesses. So Christmas Eve 2014, I ended up in the high dependency unit recovering from that surgery, but that is what was essential to keep me healthy at the time. So what actually is the surgical procedure? Well, simply put, an ileostomy is the surgical procedure where the end of the small intestine, which you may have heard called the ileum, is then brought through the abdominal wall to create a very small opening, which is called a stoma. So waste can then pass out of the body through this opening, the stoma, and it goes into a very secure, wearable pouch, like this one. So this is the type that I wear. So this is a Dansack one. So it's got a window in here where I can keep an eye on what the stoma is doing, and it's got an opening at the bottom where I can then drain all the waste out of that. And again, in future videos, we will go more in depth into the products of stomas and stoma care. So surgery is not something to be taken lightly, and when you hear the words stoma or even permanent stoma, that can be absolutely terrifying. And believe me, I was incredibly scared at first. But having this stoma meant that all the really diseased parts of the tissue that were making me so unwell had all been removed, and having this stoma meant I wasn't going to be sick anymore, and I was able to get my life back. So yes, it took a while to recover from that surgery, but it was certainly something that was essential at the time, and I'm thriving now. So I hope this quick breakdown has helped to demystify a little bit more about what IBD and stomas are all about. Now, in our upcoming videos, we'll dive even deeper into everyday life with an ileostomy, stoma care, and not to mention the upcoming interview all about ulcerative colitis. So, if you found this video helpful, then please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and why don't you leave a comment down below, because I would love to hear from you and chat with you in the comments. And if you've got any questions about Crohn's disease, or even ulcerative colitis, or stomas, then please feel free to drop those in the comments below as well. So until our next video, please take care of yourselves, and I will see you then. Bye.